Hi everyone, and welcome to this fourth video in my Into the Flames tutorial series. This will probably be the final video I do of tutorial, and today we're going to talk about ventilation. So what is ventilation? Why do we ventilate? Well, if we have a building like this that's on fire, by ventilating we're allowing all the heat and the gas inside to escape. That will make the conditions much easier for interior crews. It will increase visibility for the search and rescue teams. The problem we do have with ventilation is if it's done incorrectly, it introduces oxygen to the fire, which obviously could make a bad situation much worse. So whenever we ventilate, we should always be doing it in close coordination with the interior attack crews. So this game, when it comes to actually ventilating a fire, it only models two ways. Vertical ventilation, where we would be cutting a hole in the roof, and horizontal ventilation, which would involve breaking a window or breaking a door or opening a window or door. So I'm going to demonstrate vertical ventilation first. So the tools we need: a chainsaw or a K12 rotary saw. I've already got that equipped. You can see the chainsaw and rotary saw under the gear. I'll just get an air pack as well. And then we need a hook, and this is carried on the trucks, and we just go down and select hook. We then access the roof from a ladder. Now in this game you cannot fall through the roof, it won't collapse, so obviously that removes one of the main dangers of vertical ventilating. And where we want to try and ventilate is actually above the seat of a fire, so as close to the fire as we can. And again, in this game you can't just ventilate any part of the roof, there's predetermined sections, and you'll see that by a yellow square. So if I walk along here, you can see the yellow square. So we're going to ventilate there. That's above the fire. Now if the fire is actually burning through the roof, which it's just starting to do here, you wouldn't normally need to ventilate because basically the roof is self-ventilating. But we'll go ahead and cut a hole here anyway. Once you've cut the hole, just use the hook, prod, and you can see the smoke now coming through the hole you've made. You'd then let your attack crews go in, and conditions should be a little bit easier for them. Now horizontal ventilation basically involves opening doors, windows, or breaking them. Now there's two ways we can do this. If I just remove all the tools, either with a forcible entry tool or an axe. And again, where do I want to ventilate? Well, I would want to ventilate, again, ideally the actual room where the fire is, so these windows would be perfect. I'd be careful about ventilating this door here if my crew are going to go through this door, because if this is where all the heat and gas is going to come out, you don't want your fire crews about to walk in. So I'd knock out a couple of windows first. You just walk up to them and just click the mouse button. Again, once we've done that, we'd inform the engine crews that ventilation was complete, and they could then force their way in through the door and begin their operations inside. Again, if when you're making your assessment these windows are already missing and the fire's already burning through the window, there's not much point ventilating, the fire's already self-ventilating. Now the third type of ventilation we do once the fire is extinguished, and that's where we will use the fan to clear out the smoke. Now in the options there is an option. If we go to host options and scroll down, that says fans cause flashovers. Now if this is enabled, what this means is if you attempt to ventilate a building and there's still fire, it can cause the fire to flare back up. So the fan cannot be used to help ventilate a building. It should only be used when the fire is completely extinguished. So what I'll do is I'll just throw some water on this fire quickly, and then once I've done that, we'll cut back in and I'll just demonstrate the fan. Okay, so we can see the fire's now been extinguished and there's a lot of white smoke, the steam. And to clear this, we grab the fan again. Fan's carried on the ladder trucks under the tools menu. So we'll just scroll down, there it is. And there's two ways the fan will deploy. Sometimes it will automatically deploy as soon as you get close to a doorway, and other times you actually have to place it down. So we'll see which one is here. We'll walk towards it there. So it's automatically deployed. And once it's finished, the fan will automatically disappear. Now sometimes it won't actually clear all the steam, but you can see if we go inside here, this was full of thick smoke and this is all clear now. So this building would now be considered ventilated and the emergency is now under control. How does this game deal with ventilation? Well, as I said, if you put a fan in when there's a fire, it can cause a flashover. If you ventilate windows, you can sometimes see an improvement in your view. If you ventilate the roof, sometimes it will make conditions easier, but not on every emergency. So very often we ventilate simply as a role-playing element. Okay, so that's it for this final video. Again, if you've got any comments or questions, or if indeed you've got insight into how ventilation would be carried out in real life, I'd love to hear anything like that in the comments below. And yeah, I am going to try and put all of these videos into a playlist so they're all easily accessible and all together. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.